how they basically trap people into helping them and how they get informants and all this stuff. And I was very surprised because he basically said that they do something that I keep telling people to do with these kind of conversations that you're mentioning, which is to sit down and plan out the conversation. And the way the CIA spies do it is they're like, okay, we're going to say this, and the options are he can say this, this. If he says this, then this. If he says this, then this. And they sit down and they think out the exact conversation they're going to have with this informant or with this person to make this person an asset. One of the modules that we did was called Crucial Conversations. And this is very similar in terms of giving you a formula for having these conversations which are very difficult. And the first part of that is start with heart. So what it is right now in your mind is that there's a lot of fear. What is the fear? The fear is that we've been on this upward trajectory with my father, and it's like the best relationship I've ever had. And now the fear is that because of what's happened, this is basically going to take it rock bottom and it's going to go back to the place of where it was and all that stuff. The question is, does your father want to have an amazing relationship with you? Forget you, but does he want to have a great relationship with you? Of course he does. Ask any father. The default is that he wants to have a great relationship with you. Your default is that you want to have a great relationship with him. Your default is that you now understand him better than you've ever understood him before. And his default is he's now treating you better than he's treated you before. And he's giving you more respect and authority and all this stuff than he's ever before. So the relationship is in a much, much better place. Okay. But what we need to realize is that relationships are based on trust. Okay. They're based on trust. They're based on values and all these other things. And so part of you maintaining a great relationship with him is being honest with him. And I know it's very difficult and I know it's very tough, but what I would do if I was you, I'd just go on YouTube and watch like a 5-minute summary or whatever. And I would sit down, I would start to plan out this conversation. And you need to say a lot of this stuff to him, which is, Dad, I've got something important to talk to you about, but to be honest, I'm very worried about speaking to you about it because I feel like our relationship's really improved. I feel like it's going the right way and I don't want anything to mess that up. But at the same time, I know that this might be a difficult thing for you, and basically have that real clear grounding and setting a very good ground rules and expectations before you start the conversation, right? And that, I think, is like a big part of it. And once you get his agreement, once you're okay for him to go ahead, then at that point, explaining to him that, look, this is the situation, right? And in the same way where you understand that it's a huge disappointment for him and you understand that what would have been better is if it hadn't been like this and all those kind of things, but this is where we are and stuff. I remember when I called my dad once because I was in a course and they forced me, like, I was saying stuff to my dad and when he put the phone down, he said to my mom, what the hell's going on with him? What is he doing? Is he doing like some sort of suicide bombing or something? Like, what the hell is going on? Why did he call me and just say that stuff? Like, I completely understand. But the truth is, bro, you need to tell him. And it's better it comes from you because your mom can tell him, right? But it's better it comes from you to do it to your level of comfort and stuff. But you know, sometimes if I told you some of the things that I've done in my life, and then my dad found out, I thought he was going to murder me. Really, I thought I was going to get murdered. But he reacted in a very different way to what I thought he would react to some of the things that happened. I'm saying that, look, you need to tell him, and it might well be, by the way, that this does mess things up between you two. And it might be that he's very disappointed for a few days, few weeks, few months, whatever. And it might be 2 steps back in the relationship. But you know, that's how relationships are. Like that is the nature of the relationship. We just got to make sure that the lowest point is not too low, where you cut off relations or you're not speaking to each other, all this stuff. But you just need to do your part of talking to him. Okay. And the other thing is, look, this is important as well, yeah, that when you talk to him, once you actually get it out and you do speak to him, there's going to be an element of, okay, I did my part. I tried to have the conversation properly. The important thing is that you don't judge him for his reaction after that. It's very natural then to go, look, I just pulled my heart out, I said all this stuff, and he's still angry with me, and he shouted at me, or he swore at me, or forget what he's going to do. Forget him in terms of what he's going to do, his reaction. You need to give him time to process what you're doing. In the old days, they used to shoot the messenger sometimes, who brought bad news. So you're bringing bad news, you might get shot. That's like part of it. The truth is, if you go the other way, that will mess up the relationship more. If you don't tell him, and then eventually he finds out or he asks you and then it comes up, that's the worst. You know that, right? So you have to do this.